Good morning. New week. Which week is it? 27? No. Skipped ahead in the calendar. Week 17. There we go. Welcome to week 17. A packed week. A fun week, hopefully. And an exciting week. I'm really looking forward to. Let me go through what's on the menu for this week. The big thing on the menu that you will see at the end of the video is the recording of Forest 19. Should I call them alternative or indie or something? A rock band. We're gonna record for 2.5 days. So they come in Friday 2 p.m. and they leave Sunday night somewhere. Gonna do a small recording tomorrow on Tuesday with the singer, and might have some discussion about future projects, but nothing serious to talk about. We need to finish Aragon this week. That's a priority, to get the first mix done to send to the guys and girl, and yeah, get that out of the way. Need to finish a first draft of this metal band mix, which is a bit tricky to get my head in because it's a very different type of music that I'm currently working on. So that might be a bit tricky, but I'm trying my very best to get a first idea so the guys know where a potential direction is going to be. I hope that makes sense. So they want to hear, just because it's the first song they did with vocals, they want to hear how does that sound if I mix it. And so I need to do my very best, but I already told them I'm not completely into their project right now, but I will be. So it's a bit difficult, and I want to improve the setup with a new preamp. I bought a BNC cable and some patch cables, and as I said last week, want to get rid of the half normalization. So maybe I check the Patchbay today once more, and maybe already rip out some of the normalization. Let's see. That's not a must do, that's just a can do. And yeah, and I want to get as much stuff done as I possibly can get done, because we have today and tomorrow, then 2 days off, and then Forest 19. So yeah, there we go. First, coffee. I'm here early, so I can enjoy my coffee first. That's preparation for recording Forest 19. And because I didn't do a proper rundown of the preamps and stuff, I thought I'd do this today, as I'm doing my test if everything actually works, because I'm scared all the time of that. Basically, I'm scared of the Patchbay. I'm scared of my own patching skills. But alright, we're gonna have the D112 for kick in. I'll show you the mics first, and then I'll show you the preamps. So D112 is for kick in, Rode K2 kick out, Shure SM57 for snare top, Octava MK012 on snare bottom. That's that one. A Lewitt LCT 040 on hi-hat. Rag tom, floor tom. Then this is for room mic mono. That's a U87 in Omni. It will be placed in the room. mainly for talkback but also for room sound. That goes on the right cymbal, an LCT040 as well. We have these two Rode NT1A for the crash cymbals. We have the stereo Edmonton CK40 as the stereo kit mic above the drummer. These two are T-Bone RB500 ribbon mics. They will be placed in a Bloomline configuration. So basically it's an XY, but not with cardioid, but with figure of 8. And that's a Bloomline. Great for room sound. So they will come in the middle of the room somewhere. That splitter will work as an DI for bass. This is the DI for guitar player 1, an SM57 on the guitar amp, DI box for the second guitar player, and an MD421 on his guitar, and for vocals. So I don't know if I really need all the mics because for the first part, because I'm now thinking of splitting it. But let's go to the preamps first. Sorry. Kick in goes into a Neve as well as snare top. We have kick out and vocals on the gold mic. We have tom 1, tom 2, so rack tom, floor tom, room, mono room, and bass on the TL audio. We have keys on the RME, guitar 1, guitar 2, and snare bottom on the RME. Then we have, and I need to look this up because I ran out of pen color. So we have hi-hat on SSL1, right cymbal on SSL2, crash cymbal left, crash cymbal right on the SSL. We have kit mic 1 left, kit mic right on the gold mic, and the ribbon mics for room go to the arts. The reason I used the art for the room is the impedance switch, so I might get a bit more out of them. And yeah, I just want to try out the SSL and see how that sounds, what the drive thingy does, and so on and so forth. So, but this is for basic tracking and drums. So let me turn the camera around. The thing is, again, I sort of ran out of channels, and also, but I want to capture everything and everything at its best. So my plan right now, and I need to discuss this with the band, is that we do basic tracks first, so they play the song through to a click once or twice, so we have a decent take focusing on the energy, and that they're roughly in click. So then I'm gonna grid a bit the guitars and keys and stuff, so everything isn't throwing out the drummer. And then we're gonna track drums for all the songs first, so the drums are done. I will obviously take pictures of all the settings, especially the drum settings, and then we're gonna switch a bit, so not all channels gets turned around, but a few. So the bass stay, because then I want to do keys and guitars properly, and I want to have all the options. So bass stays at the TL audio 4. The DIs stay as well where they are at the RME, but I'm gonna use the SSL for a few more guitar mics. I want to have the TLM 102, the small Neumann mic I have for the main guitars, as well as an SM57, because I feel like what I hear from their rehearsal room demos, the guitar is a bit more sparkly than an SM57 could actually manage to do for me. So I want to have a condenser mic on there as well. 57. The other guitar stays with an MD421 and a DI. But then I also want to mic my Fender with my other MD421, and the Hughes and Kettner of mine gets the other 57 we had on snare. So that's moving as well. And maybe we're gonna switch out vocal mics. So I have the U87 available, I would have the K2 available, also would have the Everton available, which sounds great if we just use one capsule for vocals actually, or maybe ribbons. We will see. There are a lot of options on the table then. And then we're gonna do all these overdubs and yeah, make the songs happen. I don't really like the fact that then it's a bit of a hassle to change, to re-record drum things, but well, that's the way it is, and I don't see any other way. But they are a rock band. They're not like a jazz band or a folk band where I actually want to capture them playing together in one room in one session. I mainly want to capture them as a band, yes. This is why I do the basic track first. So I always listen to the whole song and the drummer's listening to the whole song and not something obscure in the background. So I hope you know what I mean. So we always have the energy of the song. That's what I meant. The first take, I'm going to focus on energy, on feeling, and I want to say to them, please exaggerate the vocals, make it the most feeling take you ever did on the song, the way you want to have it, because that's where we're gonna push it. And yeah, then we just see. I hope we don't run out of time. I mean, I hope to be able to use quite a lot from this first takes, like maybe some guitar takes, or yeah, they have 2 keys, so at the end I will split them up, and I don't know. It's a bit of a journey where I'm halfway sure where it actually goes. On the other hand, I don't know where we're gonna end up. So yeah, I'm gonna do these tests right now. I have 3 long cables I'm gonna wire up over to the tracking room, plug it into the mics, have my routing session in Pro Tools already set, and then just let's pray if everything works. That's basically all I can do now. I hope you see that. So there's a white and blue cable going in, and a red and black one coming out. And the red and black one, these are the normalization. I want to get rid of that because this one channel isn't working, and so I'm just doing this one channel that's one of the gold mic channels I would love to use for vocals. And there's just ground noise coming from it. So just try and fix that. I hope I don't destroy more. Lucky me. That's the loose ground wire, that's the reason. Let's fix this and then everything's golden. Problem solved. Let's hope not everything else is now not working anymore. Figure that out later. Installing RX10 by Isotope, so the restoration tools. Because yeah, I fucked up basically. Nah, don't know if it's my fault. Whoever fault it is, I don't care. When recording Aragon, few weeks back, there was a bit of crackling noise in the keys, and I realized it came from his keyboard, inside his keyboard. So there's a bit of clipping happening inside his keys, and I noticed that when recording. And told him, so he changed it. But then we had to re-record the take because there was something wrong in that particular take. He went back to his old settings and it was clipping again. So I now have a recording. The only proper recording I have is clipping. So I need to fix that. And so I just bought RX10 because RX6 can't handle that. So I'm trying RX10. Actually, it's a good idea to have that up to date anyway, so why not? And yeah, see if I can get this done. The only other solution is that he needs to come back with his keys and we redo this one part. Would be not ideal, but yeah, let's see if I can figure that out. Let's quickly talk about that lovely thing. That's my personal monitoring unit. So it connects via Ethernet and I have 16 channels on it where you can make your own mix. And now I decide for Forest 19 where which signals are, so they sort of make sense. So obviously, number 1 and 2 stereo are drums. All the drums together, mixed by me, coming from an aux channel in Pro Tools. This will be channel 1 and 2. Number 3 will be bass, and because I don't have much space, I just write a B for bass. Then we have occasionally one, but 2 guitar players, so I'll write a G1 and a G2. These will be the direct signals when they record. So when we press record, this is what they actually, where the signals go into. So, but later on we will have more guitars and we're gonna do guitar overdub. So I want them to be able to hear what they already played. So on 7 and 8 I put G, T, R, which is my short version for guitars. This is a stereo track, so there will be an aux in Pro Tools where all the guitars we already recorded go to. This ends up on 7 and 8. So because we need a stereo track for keys, because keys are awesome in stereo, we put them on 9 and 10. Yeah, that's a Y. So now we have left vocals, and when I have the recorded vocals, when I have reverb, click, talkback, and they need something to talk. How do I do this? I think I put vocals on 6. The recording vocals. And I put VOC for vocals on 11 and 12. And then we have REV for reverb on 13, 14. And we have a big C for click and TB for talkback. Does that make sense for you? I hope it does. Because I hope it does for the band as well. So, when the drummer says, well, I can't hear myself, just turn on 1, 2 and make yourself louder. Should I plug that in? So we can... Oh, sorry for the shake. Let me plug that real quick. Change the camera. And I'll show you how this lovely thing works. So what I have here is just a basic Ethernet cable. I plug into the input on the rear. And that's connected to the distribution unit, and after I plug it in, all the shiny lights go on. Now we need to make sure that everything that needs to be stereo actually is stereo. So we go to link, this needs to be unlinked, that needs to be linked, linked. So everything that's flashing now are stereo channels. So these are the drums, bass, guitar 1, guitar 2, vocals, guitars, keys, vocals, reverb, click, talkback. Sorry. So let's say we're gonna do a mix for the drummer, and we set something up where he might already be happy with. Have the drums on 1, 2. Let's keep it with 2 lights flashing. Bass, well, not that much bass, I guess. So let's turn down the bass to here. Guitar. Yeah, sounds good. Leave it there. The other guitar, well, let's turn this down a bit. So now I realize, well, that might be a bit mushy. So let's put this one guitar a tiny bit to the left and the other a tiny bit to the right. So that it not disturbs him when there's only one guitar playing, but it's a bit spread out. Vocals, well, yeah, keep it buried somewhere. All the guitars, let's turn them on and lower them a bit. Keys, yeah, the same. Vocals. If you push that button, you mute it. So now it's unmute, and then I can mute it. That's quite handy. So that's a good. And reverb, let's put the reverb a bit down, because drummers don't need reverb, but they need a lot of click. And they need to hear what I'm saying. So that, to me, looks like a nice mix for the drummer. And I will write this for all 4 units I have, place them in the room somewhere, and prepare the Pro Tools session equivalently so that all the signals go out where they should go out. Yeah, progress have been made today. I'm happy. Basically all the Aragon songs are done
and they are on Google Drive. I'm not happy with every single one, but they said they want to redo some vocals anyway, so I thought, why should spend hours fixing vocals? We actually could redo them. So yeah, probably not today, but tomorrow I will send them an email saying, here are the files. I would love to redo these and these and these vocals, and then wait for them to come back, and then I'd say this project is done for now, so minimum for 1 week. Maybe next week we come back to this. Let's see. The good thing, the really good thing about this is that actually tomorrow I can dive into metal stuff and try to mix Wall of Ignorance. I think I need to get some input on that. So I might watch some YouTube videos, read a bit in forums stuff, just to get an idea on how to get my mind into mixing metal. Doesn't mean that I don't know how to mix a metal band. It just means that I would like to get some input on how to tackle certain things. And yeah, so what's important on a guitar? I mean, yes, I could get my head around this, listen to a lot of metal, and then no, sorry for the camera work, and then start mixing, which would be the version I would do if I do the whole EP. But as I just need to do this one song in the middle of a lot of normal rock production, it's hard for me to really listen to metal a few days and then be into that mindset. I hope you get the point. So tomorrow will be a mix of a metal band without being really into metal these days. Let's see. I hope that works. I really hope that works. I opened the session twice today and thought, well, yeah, I know how that should sound, but I don't know how to do this right now, and I don't know what's really important and where to place what, and so on and so forth. So yeah, gonna do this tomorrow with a fresh ears, fresh head. I'm really happy that the rack for Forest 19 is done and dusted. And yeah, I just wanted to say, well, that's awesome, so I can have a short day tomorrow, but I actually can't, because at 4:30 there's a singer coming in to record some vocals. So anyway, yeah, I'm now waiting for someone picking up my old preamp, and then I'm driving home. So yeah, see you tomorrow in a few seconds. This is what will basically be the stage rack for Midnight Falling. Only a few pieces are missing, but I will order them soon. Let me explain.
big thing here. That's the stage box for my underneath console. So all the signals go in and out here. The first 4 channels are for the in-ear. The 5th output will be for the wired in-ear for the drummer. And then 7 and 8 either go from here to front of house or from the console amp. The front of house place, but yeah. And at the rear there will be a 16 channel splitter that will feed this lovely stage box. Or we go direct, we will see. So then we have 2 units, but wait, we have 4 moving people on stage. Why only 2 transmitters? Well, yes, the reason is that I only want to have 2 antennas, because if I have 4 units and 4 antennas, these antennas might interfere with each other and go in for a combiner, and yeah, that's a bit oversized for just getting started with these things. So we have only 2 transmitters feeding 4. Yes, one receiver is missing. Need to order that. So imagine there's a 4th transmitter receiver, and that works because LD has this focus mode. My camera doesn't have a great focus mode, but LD system has. That means that 2 receivers are tuned to the same frequency, but receive a different mix, but only in mono, which is fine by me. So yeah, Louisa and probably whoever, bass player, guitar player, whoever wants share one frequency, and bass and other guitar, for example, share another frequency, which should be fine for small stages anyway. Obviously, if we go bigger, yes, that's better to have an individual frequency for everyone, but not yet. We're just starting out. And then on top, there's the receiver for the wireless microphone, which I showed you in a previous video. And yeah, this is how it looks, and I quite like it. Quite like stuff like that.
Something I really like about this job is doing something completely different all the time. So what I've just done is a mix for Wall of Ignorance, and because I've been a good boy and mixed a whole lot yesterday for Aragon, that's basically finished, and I don't need to do this in the early hours when my ears are the freshest, so I can concentrate on that song. And yeah, that's a complete, as I said, that's a complete different type of music to everything I do these days. And I was very anxious about could I actually do a good job on this. So what I've done is, yesterday I worked my to-do list so far that I didn't need to do anything else this morning urgently. Everything else can be done later this day. And so this morning I read a bunch of articles about mixing metal and approaching a metal mix, and just got an idea on some pieces and how to tackle stuff. Just watched a short tutorial about a trick with multiband compression, that's the word, holy. And there was a thing about splitting the bass and making the high passing and low passing and stuff like that, and where to play stuff and so on and so forth. I just read through it, not really listening to a lot of music, but more like getting my brain back into it. And so I just jumped into that mix, did a few bits and pieces, and yeah, right now I'm quite happy for sort of a draft mix. And this is all that is. That is just a draft mix. And I made that very clear to the band that I'm not completely into metal mixing right now, because I do a lot of different guitar music these days. So that will be just a draft. And I think that's pretty good already. So I'm now having a break, doing something else, then having lunch, then maybe coming back, and yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. I think I can manage to send them this draft mix by Friday. Yeah, I think I can manage that. As I'm ahead of schedule, I thought, let's try out the Midnight Falling setup, and this is what I do. So I'm currently copying sessions that we recorded and route them so they match with the live setup. So I split the guitars, so guitar 1 is just on one channel, guitar 2 is just on the other channel, and so on and so forth. And basically just one vocal. And I just try to see how complicated it will get to mix the show with all the effects on it and stuff. Trying to get something cohesive in it. And yeah, that might need some practice. I mean, obviously, ultimately, I can only work on the stuff when we had the first rehearsal. And I have recorded a set with the band and the sounds they produce. Obviously, the stuff we do in Pro Tools is not the stuff we're gonna have on stage, but nevertheless close enough. Maybe I should explain how I do this. You can use the SQ5 as an audio interface with your computer. The SQ5 works on 48 or 60 and 96 kilohertz, and I usually work in 44.1 because reasons. So now I'm copying and converting all the sessions we did in a new session in 69 kilohertz and play that back via individual tracks. So I have the kick, and that goes to USB 1, which will then be my kick channel, snare on USB 2, and so on and so forth. So I mimic that being microphones plugged in, but it's actually just, yeah, something playing from my computer. I hope you understand. That's just the current version of my live setup for Midnight Falling. That's probably not the final version. We're gonna rehearse in a few weeks, or I have the first rehearsal with the band in a few weeks, gonna record this rehearsal, and then make tweaks and changes, but I think regarding the layout of the console, that's basically what I want to work with. So let me explain. Layer A will basically be the one I'm running the show with. I hope I don't have to switch layers during the show. Let me zoom a bit out so you see my finger. Here, so I don't need to switch layers during the show. So layer A is what you see here. And you might not be able to read it, so I'll read it out for you. We have on the first channel, that's drums. That's a group with all the drums in it. So I will not tweak kick, snare, tom, overheads, blah. After soundcheck, I will do that via soundcheck, and then hopefully only use that one fader. Never, but in case of, I can turn the drums down or up during the show. The whole drums, everything together. FX1 send is the snare and tom plate reverb. This I want to change from song to song because there are some songs that are just slower in tempo and I want to have a bit longer snare and stuff. So I might want to change that during the set. So I have the FX send and the FX return right here at my fingertips. Fourth channel is playback. That's a stereo track which will be fed from somewhere. I don't know who's pressing play yet, but this is just a stereo track with the playback. Yeah, with everything that's not playing on stage in real. So there you go. Bass is pretty easy. That's just the signal from the bass. Guitar 1, guitar 2, so that will be Jendrik, that will be Annika. And band is all these 4 channels together. So what I'm mixing here is just the level into this group, and I can turn down the whole band, and we only have drums and vocals now. I can turn up the whole band, which is important at some parts where I want to push the band a bit. I hope that makes sense. For me it makes sense. And it's, yeah, for me it makes sense. Then we have Louisa, straight vocals, straight in, straight out, no groups, nothing. Louisa distorted, that's, I tried to mimic a megaphone effect we have in certain songs, and I've done this. Let me turn the camera to the display by having this tube stage on high drive, pretty much driving the whole way in, and then level matching. And then we have a fairly drastic EQ, let's call it like that, and a lot of compression going on. And that's just mimicking a megaphone effect we have in certain songs. And as you see, this channel is muted right now, and I just occasionally, when it's necessary, press these 2 buttons at the same time and we switch the mute. Yes, I could do this with a soft key, but I don't want to. That's easy enough. I've done this with Johnny Carajo and never hit wrong, so that's fine. Backing vocals, if someone wants to play backing vocals, that's there. Stereo is for, so that's just a stereo input. I might feed from my iPhone or somewhere else. That's just for changeover music, after show music, whatever, if I need to play something back. And obviously for me to play something back to listen to the PA and stuff, so that's that. Then we have a reverb send, that's the vocal reverb and the reverb return, because I want to have both on my display here. Delay send and delayed return. pretty obvious. We have one soft key which is currently doing the tap, and it will stay there. I also will try to get my pedal engaged again. That doesn't work that well. And yeah, that's basically layer 1, but that's not all, obviously. So on layer 2 I have the individual signals. So we have kick, snare, toms, overhead left, overhead right, hi-hat, and drums. I know that's not the right order, but that's the order that makes sense for me. So I understand that hi-hat is always after snare, kick and snare. Yeah, it doesn't make sense for me, so I have it that way around. Then we have drums, then we have click, playback, bass, guitar, band, Louisa backing. Why is that layer? That layer is basically for making a headphone mix for the guys and girls on stage. So that might be Louisa's mix, that might be Jendrik's mix, that might be Annika's mix, that might be Axel's mix, and that might be Frederik's mix. So I don't feed them from the group, because if I change something during the show, they will freak out because the kick gets louder or quieter or something. So I want to feed them from the direction, from the direct inputs, so they get, yeah, they don't get the benefit of the drum and band group, but they just get their individual mix, which is handy. And they don't get the distortion signal as well. So yeah, they only get the normal signal, I guess, yeah. Let me check if I mute that now. That's muted here as well. Okay, then I need to change that. Should we do that real quick? So let me show you. By saying let me show you, I accidentally turned off the camera. So we go to we go to setup. And then, yeah, let's get rid of the band here, then put Louisa over here, and we have Louisa distorted here, which makes a bit more sense, yes. Alright, so that's layer B. Layer C is all the aux and effects. If there's something going wrong, if I need to adjust the level of the headphone units or something, I can do this here. Layer D is something I did for rehearsal. As we rehearse with headphones, I bring 4 microphones with me for everyone to talk through, so we can talk while having the headphones on. They're actually on a soft key, so if I press soft key 1, they get in mute, which is quite handy. And yeah, that's just so that the mix, the matrix thingies are up here, and I can adjust that if necessary. And layer F is actually empty. So yeah, that's the current SQ5 layout for Midnight Falling. Hope that helped. And as I realize in edit, so went filming at Sunday, but just edited a bits yesterday, and I realized the video got really long. So I thought, let's make it 2 parts, and maybe I do this from now on. So thanks for watching today. The second part will be out. I don't know when, maybe on Wednesday. Let's say Wednesday. Okay, let's do the first video of the week on Monday and the second one on Wednesday. Yeah, that sounds good. And yeah, so thank you. In the next part there will be the recording of Forest 19, which is happening right now for me, but for you guys on Wednesday. And so thank you very, very much for watching. See you on Wednesday with everything that's happening right now. And subscribe and like and all that shit.